हेलो एंड गुड इवनिंग, वेलकम टू मोजो स्टोरी। आज इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे मणिपुर के बारे में। मणिपुर जो पिछले लगभग 2 सालों से वायलेंस की चपेट में है। द विजुअल्स व्हिच यू सी एट योर स्क्रीन आर द विजुअल्स फ्रॉम मणिपुर। The women in Manipur have been protesting for various purposes. The violence in Manipur has been escalating for the last 2 years. And sadly, none of the governments, neither the state government nor the central government, has been able to resolve the issue. The issue between two ethnic communities in Manipur, the Kukis and the Metis. Today itself, the Supreme Court made an important observation regarding the Manipur violence, which has been there for the last 2 years at least. I've been mentioning repeatedly. In the Supreme Court today, a three-judge bench led by the Chief Justice of India, CJI Chandrachud Saab, who today also happens to be on his last working day, this three judges bench gave a very important observation hearing a petition by the cookie organizations, by the cooking petitioners, who were seeking an investigation on the sitting chief minister of Manipur, CM Biren Singh, who happens to be the chief minister and is also a leader of Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. BJP has the ruling government in Manipur. So these cookie petitioners filed a petition in Supreme Court. They were seeking for an investigation on CM Biren Singh and the investigation about his involvement in escalating the violence and also fueling the violence. The petitioners accused CM Biren Singh of adding the fuel to the violence and also allowing the arms and ammunition to be looted, which ultimately led to the violence being escalated between the two ethnic communities, the Kukis and the Metis, as we all know. Now, while hearing this petition, CGI made some important observations. Senior Advocate Prashant Bhushan, was representing the cookie petitioners. Advocate Prashant Bhushan mentioned in the Supreme Court that there are certain audio calls which have been leaked through certain sources, and these audio calls reveal that CM Biren Singh is making certain decisions, certain discussions with other people, which have led in the escalation of the violence. Now, responding to this, CJI Chandrachud asked Prashant Bhushan, Advocate Prashant Bhushan, to submit the authenticity of these audio calls, which itself is a huge observation as far as the Manipur violence is concerned. Now, the whole scene in the Supreme Court today was very interesting. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta was representing the government, the state, and Advocate Prashant Bhushan was representing the cookie petitioners. Now, while representing the cookie petitioners, Advocate Prashant Bhushan straight away slammed the CM Biren Singh, and accused him of being involved in fueling the violence in the Manipur, which has been escalating for last 18 months now and for 2 years at least. Now, CGI mentioned that if there are certain audio calls which reveal that CM is involved in escalating the violence, in fueling the violence, then you need to prove the authenticity of the audio calls. At least you need to mention that who is the source of these audio calls. Responding to which, Advocate Prashant Bhushan mentioned to the CGI that the source of these audio calls, the calls which have been received from which a particular source, is under the threat. These images, which you are seeing on your screen right now, are images of the three children who have recently lost their mother in the violence in Manipur. A cookie woman was killed by the militants, allegedly killed by the militants. Why I say allegedly is because the Manipur police has not yet responded officially on this attack by the militants in a cookie village. Though there are certain sources confirming the news to Mojo Story, we'll try to speak one of those sources and bring them in front of you for sure in the coming time. But meanwhile, the violence has been escalating, and the recent proof is this woman, a 31-year-old woman, being killed by the militants. A woman who had three children. I would like you to show the images again. This woman was killed by the militants in the Jiribam area of Manipur. Cookie woman, who was killed by allegedly the Metis militants. And amidst all of this, a petition which was heard in the Supreme Court today was not rejected, but the hearing has now been postponed for the other date. And the Supreme Court of India, Honorable Supreme Court, has asked the petitioners, the cookie petitioners, to submit the authenticity of the audio calls which happen to be claiming that the CM of Manipur, the sitting CM of Manipur, CM Biren Singh, actually fueled the violence and allow the arms and ammunition to be looted. Now, this is a serious allegation, ladies and gentlemen, because we have been seeing for the last 1.5 years at least, there have been multiple instances of violence in Manipur. We have seen women protesting on roads, we have seen women from both the communities suffering, we have seen men from both the communities dying, we have seen children from both the communities being abducted and then being killed, either from the Kuki militants or from the Methi militants. It doesn't actually matter. But this is a serious allegation being put by Kuki petitioners on the CM of Manipur, which says that CM is actually responsible for fueling these violence. Also, Advocate Prashant Bhushan very prominently mentioned in the Supreme Court today that despite giving these audio calls to the Lamba committee, the committee which is investigating the causes of the violence in the state of Manipur for the last 1.5 years, Advocate Prashant Bhushan in the Supreme Court today claimed that these audio calls were submitted in front of the Lamba community. But despite these audio calls being submitted in front of the Lamba community, they were not investigated for at least 4 years, 4 months, past 4 months. Responding to which CGI mentioned that these audio calls can now be authenticated, and if the petitioners want the Supreme Court, want this bench to respond or to take action against these audio calls, against the CM if he is involved, then the very first step needs to be the authenticity of these audio calls being proved in front of the bench. Responding to which Prashant Bhushan said that this can be done in a forensic lab, but responding to which, challenging this petition in the Supreme Court, the Solicitor General of India, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta Saab said that the only intention of this petition is to keep the fire burning. This itself was a very big statement being made by the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta. Tushar Mehta felt that this petition being filed by the Kuki petitioners has the only intention to keep the fire burning, which indirectly means to keep the violence going on. Responding to which, Prashant Bhushan Saab said that this is actually a statement which shocks him, which is a very surprising statement indeed. But Solicitor General Tushar Mehta kept on saying that this petition does not hold a relevance. Although the CGI, the bench itself had its own stand, the CGI also mentioned that the bench is aware, the Supreme Court is aware of what is happening in Manipur and they are taking it very seriously. The matter is being heard very seriously. And which is the reason Prashant Bhushan and his petitioners have been asked to prove the authenticity of the audio calls, and then this hearing can be taken forward. Now, what did this mean, ladies and gentlemen? If the authenticity of these audio calls is proven in the coming days, which means that there is any prima facie proof of CM Biren Singh being involved in the conversations which ultimately led to fueling the violence, which ultimately led to a situation where arms and ammunitions were allowed to be looted, then this is going to be a big trouble for BJP and the CM Biren Singh as well. Because we have seen this violence for last 1.5 years at least, and unfortunately, as I mentioned before, none of the governments, neither the state government nor the central government, has been able to control the violence. And the situations have just kept getting worse in the localities of Manipur. I recently mentioned today only another incident of violence the state of Manipur has witnessed. A 31-year-old Kuki woman was killed, allegedly killed by Methi militants, and these three children, I would like to show you the pictures again. The three children who lost their mother in this violence again would be seeking answers from both the governments. Why did they have to lose their mother? Despite the violence being continued for last 2 years at least. And this attack recently happened in the Jiribam district, Jiribam area of the Manipur, where this press note on your screen mentions that the Methi militants attacked the village, which was full of Kuki people, and in the same attack, this 31-year-old woman was killed. Amidst all of this, the hearing in Supreme Court came up with a very important observation. Now, Advocate Prashant Bhushan, along with his petitioners, is supposed to prove the authenticity, which they'll be doing, I'm guessing, in the coming days. And if they are able to prove the authenticity of these audio calls, which claim that CM Biren Singh is involved in fueling the violence in the state of Manipur or showing a biased behavior towards a particular community, then CM Biren Singh and the government of Manipur is going to be in a big trouble, because Supreme Court has recognized, they have taken a cognizance of this petition. They have not denied, CJI Chandrachud has not denied from hearing this petition out, despite the fact that Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who represented the state, did not at any cost felt that this petition holds any relevance. In fact, he felt that the only intention of this petition is to keep the fire burning. But the Supreme Court and the bench had their own say. They mentioned that the Supreme Court knows and is aware of what is happening inside the state of Manipur for past 2 years. And considering that today is the last working day of the sitting Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud Saab, Justice Sanjeev Khanna is going to be the next Chief Justice of India, and it is quite possible when then the next hearing of this particular petition, the bench will be led by Justice Sanjeev Khanna. And Justice Sanjeev Khanna will be responding to this petition in a certain manner. The whole response will depend if the authenticity of these audio calls, which again I'm mentioning, claim that CM Biren Singh was involved in fueling the violence in the state. CM Biren Singh was allegedly involved in allowing the arms and ammunitions to be looted in the state, which ultimately led the violence between the two communities. Then this is not going to be a very good situation for the sitting government and Bharatiya Janata Party as well. Till then, we need to keep our fingers crossed, and we, as a news channel who has covered this story so deeply, who is concerned for all the citizens of Manipur, irrespective of their community, we wish that the situations become normal as soon as possible, and neither the Metis nor the Kukis have to lose any of their individuals in the coming days. We'll keep a strong eye, a close eye on what happens in the next hearing in this particular petition, or if Advocate Prashant Bhushan and the Kuki petitioners are able to prove the authenticity of these audio calls which have been mentioned today. Till then, you do take care of yourself. Keep watching Mojo Story. We'll keep bringing you each and every update about the Manipur violence. Thank you so much for watching.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.